You spoon quinoa into your lunch bowl. Across the table, someone says, "You know that's not even a grain, right?" You look down. It looks like a grain. You cooked it like rice. You bought it from the grain aisle. But they are correct. Quinoa is a seed from a flowering plant more closely related to spinach and beets than to wheat or rice. It sits next to oats and barley because it behaves like them in your kitchen. Your brain filed it under grain and moved on. But that misclassification hides something stranger. Every quinoa seed you have ever eaten was coated in a bitter chemical shield, a substance the plant designed to stop anything from swallowing it. To understand why quinoa needs armor, you have to go where it comes from: the Andes Mountains of South America, 4,000 meters above sea level, cold nights that drop below zero, sharp winds, thin, stubborn soil where most crops refuse to grow. For over 5,000 years, Andean communities cultivated quinoa because nothing else survived here. The Incas called it the mother grain and treated it almost like a deity. According to tradition, the emperor himself planted the first seeds of the season using tools made of gold. Part ceremony, part survival pact with the land. Then colonization changed the menu. When Spanish conquistadors arrived in the 1500s, they brought wheat and barley. European crops rose in status. Indigenous foods tied to local identity were pushed to the margins. Quinoa was not abandoned because it failed. It was replaced because the power structure around it shifted. New rulers, new staples, new prestige. But here is the part the history books skip. Quinoa never disappeared. The communities who had always grown it kept growing it, quietly for centuries on the same steep terraces at the same punishing altitude. The seed survived because the people who needed it never let go. Then centuries later, the outside world noticed. In the late 20th century, researchers began studying what Andean farmers already knew. Quinoa is a complete protein. It contains all 9 essential amino acids, which is rare for a plant food. A single cup delivers roughly 8 grams of protein, plus fiber, iron, magnesium, and B vitamins. It is naturally gluten-free. For people with celiac disease, quinoa offers a foundation that does not require imitating bread. But the real engineering is not nutritional. It is chemical. Quinoa seeds are naturally coated with saponins, bitter, soapy compounds, concentrated on the outer shell. Saponin content varies from 0.14% to 0.73% depending on the variety. This coating is the plant's built-in pest control. Birds peck at the seed, taste the bitterness, and leave it alone. Insects avoid it. Larger animals that swallow the seeds find that saponins irritate their digestive tract, so the seeds pass through intact and get deposited in new soil far from the parent plant. Quinoa weaponized its own bitterness to guarantee reproduction. That soapy, slightly metallic taste you noticed the first time you tried quinoa? That was saponin doing exactly what it was designed to do. Telling your mouth to stop. 3 sequential washes reduce saponin from about 1% down to 0.18%. At that level, the bitterness vanishes. Most commercial quinoa is pre-rinsed or polished before packaging, but even pre-rinsed batches can carry traces. A quick rinse under cold water strips whatever film remains and leaves a cleaner, nuttier flavor. Here is the visual proof that quinoa is a seed and not a grain. When you cook it, each tiny bead splits open and releases a pale, curled ring. That ring is the germ, the embryonic root of a new plant. Grains do not do this. You are watching a seed begin to germinate, then stop. A frozen first step interrupted by boiling water. Quinoa comes in 3 common varieties. White cooks, soft and fluffy, closest to rice. Red is firmer, nuttier, holds its shape in cold dishes. Black has the most earthy flavor and the most chew. Same species. 3 personalities. But the strangest part is what saponin reveals about survival strategy. Most plants protect their fruit to attract animals that will spread seeds. Quinoa does the opposite. It coats the seed itself in a repellent, gambling that the few animals tough enough to eat it anyway will carry seeds farther than any nearby bird would. Fewer animals eat it, but those that do transport it miles from the parent plant. At 4,000 meters, where competition for soil is fierce distance from your own parent, is the difference between growing and dying in shadow. Quinoa's bitterness is not a flaw. It is a geographic strategy written in chemistry. Here is where the story flips. In 2008, Oprah Winfrey featured quinoa on a televised cleanse. Sales surged. By 2013, the United Nations declared it the International Year of Quinoa. Prices tripled in 7 years. In Peru, they rose 500%, and the communities that had protected this seed for millennia could no longer afford to eat it. Farmers who once grew over 60 varieties shrank to roughly 20, planting only what the export market wanted. The seed that survived conquest and altitude was now too expensive for the people who kept it alive. Next time you cook quinoa, watch for 3 things. First, the germ ring. When each bead splits open and a pale curl appears, you are looking at a seed, not a grain. That ring is the embryo of a plant built to grow where almost nothing else can. Second, the rinse test. Run water over dry quinoa in a fine mesh strainer. If the water turns slightly foamy, that is saponin dissolving off the shell. You are washing away a defense system older than most civilizations. No foam means the factory already removed it. Third, taste it plain before seasoning. White quinoa should be mild and slightly nutty. If it tastes bitter or metallic, saponin is still present. Rinse again. Once you know those 3 reads, quinoa stops being a vague health label. It becomes specific. A seed that armored itself in bitterness to survive thin air stripped of its shield in your kitchen sink. That person across the table was right. Quinoa is not a grain. It is something far more stubborn than that. That's the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. If there's something you'd like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process.